Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome to Leisure Gaming. Today I want to talk about mutants. Now I've been having a lot of fun with these with casual play, and I've been having a lot of fun on the ladder with them. In my opinion, I do feel that these are more for the casual play, and I seem to get brick hands more often than normal. I just don't know, maybe that's the way I have it built, so if you guys have any thoughts or ways to improve them, please leave it in the comments down below. So let's jump right into it. We're running 3 Maxes. During either player's turn, you can send this card from your hand to the grave, and each time your opponent special summons, you can immediately draw 1 card. We're running 3 Mutant M05, and this is one of the most important cards of the deck. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can add 1 mutant monster from your deck to your hand, except Mutant 05. You can then tribute this card, then banish 1 card from your hand or face-up field, and special summon 1 monster from your hand or deck based on that card. So if you banish a monster card, you can get Mutant Beast. If you banish a spell, you can get Mutant Mist. And if you banish a trap, you can get Mutant Arsenal. And this can only happen once per turn. We are running 3 Ash Blossoms hand traps. We all know what they do. We're running 3 Mutant ST46. And this has a similar effect to Mutant M-05. Where if this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can add 1 mutant spell trap from the deck to your hand, and then you can tribute and then banish 1 card from your hand or face up the field and special summon 1 monster from the hand or deck. Once again, if you banish a monster, you get Mutant Beast. If you banish a spell, you get Mutant Mist. And if you banish a trap, you get Mutant Arsenal. And you can only activate this once per turn. We're running 3 Nemesis Corridor. You can target 1 of your banished monsters except Nemesis Corridor and special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, shuffle that target into the deck. You can target 1 of your banished Nemesis monsters except Nemesis Corridor, add it to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Next we're running 1 Mutant GB88, and I believe that this is good at 1. It can run at 2, but I've had more success with it at 1. So during your opponent's main phase, if Mutant Evolution Lab is in your field zone, this is a quick effect. You can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, you can tribute this card, then banish 1 card from your hand or face up on the field. Special summon 1 of your level 8 mutant monsters that is banished or in your grave, and this can only happen once per turn. Running 2 Mutant Beasts, which I believe out of the 3 big ones, this is the most important one. That's why I'm running this one at 2. This one cannot be special summoned except for the effect of a mutant card, which we've talked about with M05, 46, and 88. Your opponent cannot target this card with monster effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Mutant Beast once per turn. When your opponent activates a spell or effect, you can banish 1 card from your hand on the field, negate the activation, and if you do, that card is now banished. If this card in your owner's possession is destroyed by opponent's card, you can target 1 of your banished mutant traps and add it to your hand. We're running 1 Mutant Mist, and just like Mutant Beast, this cannot be special summoned except with the effect of a mutant card. Your opponent cannot target this card with spell effects. You can only use the following effect of Mutant Mist once per turn. When your opponent activates a trap or effect, you can target 1 card, you can banish 1 card from your hand or field, and then draw 2. So this gives you your drawing potential. If this card in your owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target 1 of your banished mutant monsters and add it to your hand. And we're running 1 Mutant Arsenal. Once again, just like the others, it cannot be special summoned except with the effect of a mutant card. Your opponent cannot target this card with trap effects. You can only activate the following once per turn. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish 1 card from your hand, then target 1 monster in the field and banish it. If this card in owner's possession is destroyed by opponent's card, you can target 1 of your banished mutant spells and add it to your hand. So these are great ways to recycle all the cards that you have magic, monster, and trap. You can run these at 2. I find that it bricks more often when you run it at, when you increase these to 2. Just having them at 1 seems to work out pretty fine. And then we're on to spells. We're running 1 Raigeki to help clear the field. We're running a Harpy's Feather Duster to help clear that backfield because this deck doesn't have much of a way to clear out the backfield. We have 1 Monster Reborn, which will help with ST46 and M05. Next, we're running 3 Mutant Fusions. And this will help bring out your big boss monsters. Fusion summon 1 Mutant Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your hand or field. If your opponent has activated a card or effect this turn, you can use up to 1 monster each from your deck and graveyard as fusion material. You can only do this once per turn. Next, we're running the Mutant Evolution Lab, the field spell. When this card is activated, you can special summon one of your level 4 or lower mutant monsters from your hand, or that is banished. Mutant monsters you control gain 100 attack for each of your banished mutant cards with different names, and that's including the magic and trap mutant cards, not just the monsters. Once per turn during your main phase, you can place one mutant monster from your hand on the bottom of the deck and draw a card. We're running 2 emergency teleports. Special summon one level 3 or lower psychic monster from your hand or deck, but banish it during the end of this turn. So your targets for this, Mutant M-05 is going to be your primary target for this. Next, we're running 3 infinite impermanents. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, negate its effects. Then, if this card is set before activation and is on the field at resolution for the rest of the turn, all other spell and trap effects in this column are negated. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. Next, we're running 3 Mutant Cries, which is another way to bring out your fusion boss monsters. During the main phase, fusion summon one mutant fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling the fusion materials listed on it into the deck from among the cards on the field, in your grave, and or your face-up banished cards. You can activate 1 Mutant Cry per turn. Next, we're running 3 Mutant Expansions. When this card is activated, you can take one level 4 or lower mutant monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. If a level 8 or higher mutant monster you control will be destroyed by card effect, you can banish this card you control instead. You can only activate 1 mutant expansion per turn. So we're running 1 Thunder Dragon Colossus. Right? Must be either fusion summoned or special summoned during the turn a thunder monster's effect was activated in the hand by attributing 1 thunder effect non-fusion monster. Cards cannot be added from the main deck to your opponent's hand except by drawing them. If this card will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish 1 thunder monster from your graveyard instead. So how do we get this out? Nemesis Corridor is the monster that we use primarily to get this card out, because you can activate this. This activates in hand, which meets the requirements. You can get one of your banished monsters back, and then you can get this big boss monster out into the field. Next, we're running 2 Mutant Synthesis, where it's 2 mutant monsters with different attributes. If this card is fusion summoned, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. When your opponent activates a card effect, you can activate this effect for the rest of the turn. This face-up card is unaffected by the effects of an opponent's card of the same type, monster, spell, or trap. If this fusion summon card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can add 1 of your banished mutant cards to your hand. You can only activate this once per turn. Next, we're running 1 Thunder Dragon Titan. Must either be fusion summoned or special summoned by banishing 1 thunder monster from your hand and 1 thunder fusion monster you control. When a thunder monster's effect is activated in hand, even during the damage step, you can destroy 1 card on the field. If this card will be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish 2 cards from your graveyard instead. We're running 2 Mutant Ultimus, which is our next boss monster for this deck. When a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can banish 1 mutant card from your hand, graveyard, or face-up field of the same type, monster, spell, or trap. Negate the activation. If you do, banish that card. If this fusion summon card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can add up to 3 of your banished mutant cards, up to 1 each, monster, spell, and trap, to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Next, we're running 1 Dingirsu. Probably pronounced that wrong, I apologize. You can only special summon this card once per turn. You can also XE summon this card by using Orcus Link monsters you control as material. If cards you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can attach 1 material from this card instead. If this card is special summoned, you can activate 1 of these effects. Send 1 card your opponent controls to the graveyard, or attach 1 of your banished machine monsters to this card as material. Next, we have 1 Ib, the World Chalice Priestess. This link card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Your opponent cannot target this link card with card effects. If a monster this card points to will be destroyed by a card effect, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 World Chalice monster from your hand. And then we have 1 Nightmare Cerberus. We're also playing 1 Nightmare Phoenix. Like I said, this deck doesn't have much of a way to deal with the backfield. We are running fusions in here, so we definitely got to have the cross sheet. If a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can apply the following effects in sequence based on that card. If it's ritual, draw 2, then discard 2. If it's a fusion, special summon 1 level 4 lower monster from your graveyard. And if it's a synchro, all monsters you control gain 700. And if it's an Xyz, all monsters your opponent controls loses 700. So this is a great card to have. As you can see, there's nothing but fusions in here. Fusion is your main way to win. Next, we're running 1 generator transverser. This link card and monsters it points to cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. If this card points to 2 monsters, you can switch control of those monsters. We're running 1 Nightmare Unicorn. Next, we're running 1 Borosaur Dragon. And lastly, we're running the ever popular Access Code Talker. So how does the deck work? Mutants revolve around having their cards removed from play. They don't care. They don't hurt if their cards are removed from play. Let's say you open with Mutant MO5 and Mutant Evolution Lab. You will summon Mutant MO5 and his ability is going to activate. Once it activates, you're now going to be able to search your deck for another mutant. Your primary target for that search is going to be Mutant ST46. Now that you have ST46 in hand, Mutant MO5's second ability is going to activate. You will tribute MO5 and you'll send ST46 banished from play, which will allow you to now special summon Mutant Beast. Now that you have Mutant Beast on the field, remember you have Evolution Lab in hand. You'll play Evolution Lab. Once Evolution Lab is activated, you're now able to special summon 1 level 4 or lower mutant monster from your hand or that is banished. You have the ST46. So you can special ST46 from the banish, bring it to defense mode, and ST46 is now going to search for a mutant spell or trap card. Your primary target for that search is going to be Mutant Cry. If you already have Mutant Cry in your hand, you can then search for another Mutant Cry, just in case, or you can search for Mutant Fusion. But primarily, you're going to want your Mutant Cry. Now that you have Mutant Beast on the field, you have ST46 on the field, you have your field spell, and you have Mutant Cry in hand, for ST46 you can do one of 2 things. Your first option is to activate ST46's secondary ability, tribute your field spell, so that's going to get removed from play, which will then allow you to special summon Mutant Mist. So now you'll have Mutant Mist on the field, you'll have Mutant Beast on the field, and then you can set Mutant Cry. Or don't activate that and just set Mutant Cry. Now remember, Mutant Cry has to activate during the main phase, so make sure that your toggle is on. So now when it's your opponent's turn and before they end their main phase, because you have that toggle on, it's going to come up saying main phase is ending, do you want to activate Mutant Cry? At this point, yes. Your main target for this is going to be Mutant Synthesis, because once this is fusion summoned and brought to the field, you can destroy 1 card on the field. So what happens if you don't have MO5 but you open with ET and the Evolution Lab? The same play works out. You'll activate ET, special summon MO5, MO5 will then search for ST46, and the combo continues on that way. So those are going to be your 2 basic combos for this deck. Like I said, it doesn't matter going first or second, but I do find that going first tends to work out a little easier because you can set Mutant Cry. So what happens if you don't have ET in hand, you don't have ST46, or you don't have MO5? Mutant Expansion is going to be that card, and you primarily want to activate this on the end, on your opponent's end phase. Once again, have that toggle on. You will activate Mutant Expansion, and you can take 1 level 4 lower mutant monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. In this case, you're definitely going to special summon it. Your primary search is going to be Mutant MO5, and then you can start that combo all over again, because once it's special summoned, now you're going to search out ST46. Once you have ST46 in hand, the turn is going to end. It's now your turn. You're going to draw, and you can either normal summon the ST46, so that way you can either get your Mutant Fusion, Mutant Evolution Lab, or Mutant Cry, and you'll start your combos from there. This is why Nemesis Corridor is so important for this deck, in my opinion. All the cards that you're going to end up banishing, or the monster cards that you're going to end up banishing, Nemesis Corridor gives you that extension to just bring them back into the deck, and it allows you to get into a nice little boss monster, Thunder Dragon Colossus, which does slow down a lot of decks because now your opponent can't really use Max C to draw any extra cards. They can't use any spell cards to draw. They can only draw during their draw phase. So let's say you have this in hand. You can continue that entire combo with MO5, ST46, and so forth. If you don't have the Mutant Evolution Lab and you have Corridor instead, drop the Corridor, get your monster back from removed from play back into the deck, and now you have Corridor on the field, and then you can special summon your Colossus. So like I said, the deck loves having cards removed from play. So that's the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said earlier, if you have any tips or tricks for the deck that'll help improve it, please let me know in the comments below. And if this has been helpful, please like and subscribe. I would really like to see if I can get the channel to triple digits by the end of the year, and I could really use that help and support from all of you. Till next time, later.